Imagine you're exploring a dense jungle, and you spot what looks like a leaf fluttering in the breeze. But wait, it's not a leaf at all. Or perhaps you notice a broken twig on the forest floor, only to discover it has wings. What about a chubby frog that looks like a piece of tree bark, or a snake whose tail looks just like a spider? Fascinating, right? Today, we will show you the 15 most unbelievable masters of disguise in the animal kingdom. And just when you think you've seen it all, we'll reveal an insect that looks exactly like bird droppings. So get ready, click subscribe, and let's dive in. Giant leaf insect. Imagine you're walking through the jungle, your eyes scanning the greenery for signs of life. You think you see a leaf flutter in the breeze, but wait, it's not just a leaf, it's the giant Malaysian leaf insect. Its camouflage is so perfect that even the most observant predators are fooled. This insect's body is a masterclass in mimicry. Its shape, color, and even the texture of its body perfectly resembles a real leaf. It has veins, brown spots, and sharp edges, just like a leaf that's been weathered by time. With a face and 6 pointy legs, this creature clings to leaves with tiny, bifurcated toes. When it lays eggs, it barely moves a muscle. The eggs simply plop down to the forest floor. Even the eggs are camouflaged, looking like tiny brown seeds or leaf insect droppings. This level of mimicry is known as protective resemblance. Interestingly, this insect often spends its entire life on a single tree, living as a smartly hidden copycat. 14. The buff tip. In the quiet corners of woodlands and forests, where the ground is scattered with twigs and bark and leaves rustle gently in the wind, there exists a moth called the buff tip, known for its remarkable camouflage. At first glance, you might spot what looks like a broken twig on a branch, but upon closer inspection, you realize it has wings. This is the buff tip moth, one of the best at camouflage in the insect world. Found across Europe and parts of Asia, the buff tip visits deciduous woodlands, gardens, and parks, perfectly blending into the surroundings. This moth is medium-sized, with a wingspan ranging from 55 to 68 millimeters. It has a firm body, and when at rest, it holds its wings tightly rolled around its body to mimic a broken twig or piece of dead wood. The coloration, a mix of gray, brown, and buff, especially the buff-colored tips, closely resembles a birch twig, making it nearly invisible in its natural habitat. 13. Deadleaf butterfly. Have you ever seen a leaf take flight? In the dense undergrowth of tropical forests, where the air is thick with mystery and shadows play tricks on your eyes, a strange creature blurs the line between the living and the non-living. This isn't just a leaf caught in the wind. Look closer, and you'll uncover the marvel that is the deadleaf butterfly. Its scientific name is Kallima inachus. The deadleaf butterfly is found in multiple countries, including India, Nepal, Bangladesh, China, and Thailand. This butterfly's camouflage is nothing short of amazing. When its wings are closed, it looks exactly like a dead leaf. The wings are marked with veins, spots, and even small holes that mimic decay, making it blend perfectly with the forest floor. Imagine walking through the woods, thinking you've spotted a leaf, only to see it flutter away. It's like a scene from a fairy tale, where nature plays the ultimate game of hide and seek. 12. Mossy frog. The mossy frog, or Vietnamese mossy frog, has an exceptional ability to blend in with its environment thanks to its bumpy green and brown skin that looks just like moss. It lives among moss-covered rocks and trees, and it's so well camouflaged that you might mistake it for part of the forest floor. During the day, it remains perfectly still, which helps it avoid predators such as birds and snakes. Even if you were looking right at it, you might not realize it's a frog. When threatened, the mossy frog employs a unique defense tactic by curling up into a ball and tucking its limbs in, which makes it resemble a moss clump or a rock even more. Beyond its camouflage, this frog also mimics the sounds of its surroundings. In dangerous situations, it can emit a high-pitched call that sounds similar to a bird or an insect, further enhancing its ability to stay undetected. This combination of visual disguise and auditory mimicry creates a nearly perfect illusion. 11. Stonefish. The stonefish is one of the most well-camouflaged creatures in the ocean. Its bumpy, rough skin is covered in lumps and warts that look exactly like the surrounding rocks and coral. It can change its color to match the seafloor, making it nearly impossible to see. This camouflage is known as cryptic coloration. a survival technique that makes it look just like a stone. Even experienced divers can have a hard time spotting one. This fish lies perfectly still, often half buried in the sand, waiting for its prey. When a small fish or shrimp swims by, the stonefish strikes with lightning speed, sucking its prey into its mouth in the blink of an eye. Imagine a rock suddenly coming to life and snatching a fish. It's both terrifying and fascinating. What's truly amazing about the stonefish is its ability to remain motionless for hours, conserving energy and staying hidden from predators and prey alike. 10. Great Potto. Imagine you're standing quietly in a forest surrounded by the sounds of hidden animals. You notice something moving, but it's hard to see clearly. Then you realize what looked like part of a tree branch actually has eyes. This creature is the Great Potoo, known for being really good at hiding and active at night. The Great Potoo is a large bird that blends in very well with its surroundings. During the day, it sits very still on tree branches, and its gray and brown feathers make it look just like tree bark. This camouflage is so good that you might walk right past it without even noticing. When it feels threatened, the Great Potoo stays very still and stretches its body to look like a broken branch or a tree stump. It keeps its big eyes, which are great for seeing at night, nearly closed during the day so that predators don't spot it. This trick works so well that even sharp-eyed predators like hawks and eagles often miss it. 9. Wraparound spider. The wraparound spider, also known as Dolophones, has a unique and fascinating way of blending into its environment. The wraparound spider is found primarily in Australia. This spider is relatively small, with a body length of about 5 to 12 millimeters. Its body is flat and disc-shaped, allowing it to wrap itself around tree branches and trunks seamlessly. The coloration of the wraparound spider varies, but it often matches the bark of the trees it inhabits. It presses its body flat against a tree branch, wrapping itself around it so perfectly that it becomes nearly invisible. The spider's body fits so closely against the tree that even the keenest observer could mistake it for part of the bark. Spotted patterns of browns, grays, and greens. Its indefinable nature and perfect disguise make it an attractive subject for those who study the hidden wonders of the natural world. 8. Frogmouth. The frogmouth is a nocturnal bird with a wide frog-like mouth and a weird ability to blend into its surroundings. During the day, it settles motionless on tree branches, relying on its exceptional camouflage to stay hidden. Its feathers are mottled gray and brown, making it look exactly like a piece of tree bark or a broken branch. This bird is not very large, with a size ranging from about 9 to 21 inches in length and a wingspan of up to 25 inches. Frogmouths are found in a variety of habitats, including forests, woodlands, and scrublands. They are well adapted to both dense rainforests and more open wooded areas. It will stretch its body and neck to form a straight line, perfectly mimicking the appearance of a branch. Its eyes narrow to slits, reducing the chance of reflection, and it remains perfectly still. Even experienced birdwatchers can be fooled by this act. 7. Spider-tailed horned viper. The spider-tailed horned viper is a snake with a unique and creepy trick up its sleeve. The tip of its tail looks exactly like a spider, complete with a bulbous body and long, thin legs. This remarkable appendage is not just for show. It's an incredibly effective hunting tool. By wiggling its tail, the viper mimics the movements of a spider, attracting in insect-eating birds. The spider-tailed horned viper is found in the arid, rocky regions of western Iran. Its habitat consists of rugged landscapes with plenty of rocks and sparse vegetation. The spider-tailed horned viper is relatively small, usually reaching about 60 to 70 centimeters, approximately 2 to 2.3 feet in length. The spider-tailed horned viper's camouflage extends beyond its tail. The snake's body is covered in scales that blend seamlessly with the rocky, sandy environment. Its coloration includes shades of brown, gray, and black, helping it stay hidden from both predators and prey. When it remains motionless, it looks like just another rock on the desert floor. 6. Gray tree frog. The gray tree frog is a small, chubby amphibian with a remarkable talent for blending into its surroundings. Its skin is covered in various shades of gray, green, and brown, often with intricate patterns that resemble tree bark, lichen, or moss. This camouflage is so perfect that the frog can sit on a tree trunk or among leaves and remain almost invisible. If you're not looking closely, you'd never know it was there. The gray tree frog uses its camouflage to stay hidden from predators like birds and snakes. It can change its color to match its environment, which is a process known as chromatophores. If the frog is sitting on a gray rock, it turns gray. If it moves to a green leaf, it becomes green. This color-changing ability helps it blend in with its surroundings and avoid detection. Moreover, the gray tree frog has the ability to survive in freezing temperatures. In winter, it produces a type of antifreeze that prevents its cells from freezing, allowing it to hibernate in the cold. 5. The great horned owl. Great horned owls are large with tufted ears and sharp yellow eyes. They have a mottled gray-brown body, a barred chest, and a white throat patch. The horns are neither ears nor horns, actually just feathers that help them blend into their surroundings. The great horned owl is found throughout the Americas, from the Arctic tundra to the tropical rainforests and deserts. This owl is a master of camouflage. During the day, it settles close to tree trunks or in dense foliage, remaining almost invisible to both prey and predators. Its feathers are patterned to mimic the textures and colors of tree bark, providing it with excellent camouflage. When it sits still against a tree trunk or among the branches, it becomes almost impossible to spot. 4. European eel. The European eel, with its long, slender body, can grow up to 1.5 meters in length, although most are around 60 to 80 centimeters. Its body is covered in smooth, slimy skin that ranges in color from dark green to brown, perfectly blending with the muddy, leafy environment of its habitat. This camouflage helps the eel remain hidden from predators and prey alike. Eels are found in a variety of freshwater habitats, including rivers, lakes, and bays across Europe, from the Scandinavian countries to the Mediterranean. One particularly fascinating aspect of the European eel's life is its impressive migration. These eels are born in the Sargasso Sea, a region of the Atlantic Ocean near the Bermuda Triangle. As larvae, they drift across the ocean for up to 3 years before reaching the coasts of Europe. Once they arrive, they transform into glass eels, becoming transparent and almost invisible. This transformation is like nature's own magic trick, helping them avoid predators as they make their way into freshwater rivers and lakes. 3. Pygmy seahorses. Pygmy seahorses are tiny, fascinating creatures celebrated for their superb camouflage abilities. Imagine diving into a lively coral reef, bursting with colors and movement. Among your exploration, you spot what seems like a simple bump on a coral, but a closer look reveals it has eyes. These seahorses, smaller than an inch, masterfully blend into their surroundings. Their bodies boast tubercles that mimic the texture and color of the corals they live on, making them incredibly difficult to spot. These seahorses reside in the coral reefs of Southeast Asia, where they hold onto soft corals and gorgonians using their prehensile tails. They typically appear in shades of pink, red, yellow, or orange, seamlessly matching the coral's color. This exceptional adaptation allows them to avoid predators and stay hidden from both prey and humans. Additionally, pygmy seahorses can adjust their color slightly to perfect their camouflage, and they maintain silence, convincing only with the water currents to further the illusion that they are just another part of the coral. 2. Chameleon. Have you ever wondered if the forest itself could come alive? In the deep jungles and dry deserts, there exists a creature that can almost make this illusion a reality. Imagine walking through a lush green forest or a vast sandy desert, when suddenly a branch or rock begins to shift colors before your very eyes. Meet the chameleon, nature's ultimate shapeshifter. This amazing talent helps them blend into their surroundings. Their skin can turn shades of green, blue, brown, and even yellow, allowing them to disappear into the background. But how do they do it? Chameleons have special cells in their skin called chromatophores. These cells contain different pigments, and by expanding or contracting, they can mix these colors to match their surroundings perfectly. This color-changing ability isn't just for camouflage. Chameleons also use it to communicate with each other and to regulate their body temperature. 1. Bird dung crab spider insect. The bird dung crab spider is an insect that has changed to look exactly like bird droppings. This disguise is so convincing that most predators, like birds and other insects, don't give it a second glance. They see it and think, "Yuck, not food," and move on. Its body is small and round, with a mix of black, white, and brown colors that perfectly mimic the appearance of a fresh bird dropping. It prefers to live in places where birds are common, like gardens, forests, and even near human dwellings. The bird dung crab spider has another clever trick up its sleeve. It can give off a slight smell that mimics the odor of bird droppings, enhancing its disguise even further. This smell attracts flies and other small insects, which come closer, thinking they found something to eat. When they get too close, the spider strikes, capturing its meal with lightning speed.